Welcome to JIBRIN Angle on Weleke TV. My name is JIBRIN, and this is my angle. Thank you for joining us today on my show, where we shall be talking about several issues of the moment with Barrister Austin Manta, a very senior legal practitioner and a public affairs analyst. Barrister, thank you for joining me again today.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Honestly, this week, the past 2 weeks actually, but more intense even this week, this past week, Nigeria has been on the news for all the negative reasons. There is the entire Nigeria is just I don't know if Nigeria, you guys in Nigeria are feeling the same way, because honestly, even in the US here, the truth is Nigeria has never been this. It's just everything Nigeria is just has just is the thing saturating the news right now. Nigeria has never been this on the news, never been this popular for all the negative reasons. Yeah, Nigeria, there's no doubt about that. We have been on the news forever for negative reasons, but not as it is this moment, especially in the US. Honestly, Nigeria is just ringing bell for all the negative reasons all over the place, including at the national level, from the presidency to the National Assembly. So I don't know where to even start this morning. Anyway, let's start with, because everything in Nigeria right now is just bad news, unfortunately. Let's start with Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu's court verdict. I don't know. Did you follow what is happening concerning Nnamdi Kanu? Obviously, yes.
Issues in Nigeria.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll be talking extensively about that actually. All right. I remember we discussed about this in the past, and you made a statement. Let me hold on. I think let me see if I can get this. I want to play the statement you made. Um, uh, this just occurred to me just a few minutes before coming on this show. Otherwise, I would have played the video for everyone. But I'll just play the audio for you, for people to hear, everyone to hear.
The government, we can know if the government or some other forces are behind it. If you look at the judgment versus the evidence, is at that point somebody can confirm that yes, something else other than the normal judicial process is happening here.
Barrister, did you remember that comment you made?
Definitely, I do.
All right. On the judgment, the verdict, do you think what you just said just happened, or you think it's fair to Nnamdi Kanu?
I have the benefit of going through the judgment. I have a copy already.
Oh, great.
A certified true copy. I will send the PDF to you.
Oh, great. That's great.
To go through it, it's 144 pages. You can go through it as a non-lawyer and make up your mind for yourself.
Okay.
Remember, the first time we start talking about Nnamdi Kanu's case, and you brought the issue of the long delay.
Yes.
I made mention of the fact that we lawyers, when we look at a case and we see that it's overwhelmingly against an accused person or a defendant, particularly a topical case like this, which have political connotations, the strategy would be not to allow the case to go through the normal judicial process while you are looking for political solutions for that case. We can raise as many objections as possible, accuse the judge, ensure the case is transferred from one court to another. In that process, we are hoping for because we look at the evidence, we look at the entire case and determine that the accused is most likely going to be convicted. So when you look at that, the whole case seems to be what I said at that time. It seems to me now, when I look at the whole case and the whole evidence, that right from the beginning...
Barrister, sorry to cut you short, because this thing, we are going to dig very, very deep into this. So I don't want us to waste time on what is not the point. My point is, I ask you a question. There's no doubt. Even as a layman, usually when there is no defense, when someone cannot put up a defense, obviously the person will be indicted, or judgment will be passed against that person. My question is the judgment or is the punishment equal, or does the punishment equal the crime?
It's not about whether the punishment is equal to the crime. It's about whether the law prescribes a punishment. The judge is not at liberty to give any punishment that he wants.
What does the law prescribe? What punishment does the law prescribe based on the charges? On the charges.
Some of them are death penalty. Some of them are life imprisonment.
Again, hold on. Whatever those charges, are they fair charges in comparison to what Kanu the crime he committed?
There are charges that the law prescribes for the offenses that he committed.
What offense? What offense did he commit? You as a lawyer, what offense did he commit? Just summarize it.
The terrorism. No, we have what is called Terrorism Prevention Act, and under that Terrorism Prevention Act, there's a definition of terrorism, among which is incitement to violence on a general scale, intimidation.
You as a lawyer, barrister, hold on. Do you think Nnamdi Kanu, as a lawyer, do you think Nnamdi Kanu committed the crime that can be categorized as terrorism?
There is no doubt of that.
Really?
There's no doubt. There's no doubt at all. Like I said, I'm going to send you the judgment. Read it as a layman.
No, hold on. No, we are hold on.
As a lawyer.
No, honestly. No, hold on. On this, I completely disagree with you, because this is unbelievable. Look, we all have watched what Kanu did. I watched the video. Like I told you, when he was doing all these things, I know he was. I didn't like him for that. The messenger was my problem. The message was okay, but he was just going in the wrong way. But however, yes, there is no doubt he committed crime by inciting. But the problem is the crime that he committed. Honestly, I don't see it as terrorism, for God's sake. This man has never been caught with even a jackknife, common knife. This man has never killed anyone. All he has done was use a megaphone. I don't see anything of such magnitude that Nnamdi Kanu has done. What are you talking about?
Like I told you, terrorism is defined in the law. It is not you that will say what is terrorism. It's the law that establishes what is terrorism.
No,
if you like, I can read some of the charges for you to understand. Under that law, that is what constitutes terrorism.
Now hold on.
It's not what I decide.
Now what law? Hold on. Let me play this. There are two videos I need to play, so we'll take it up from there. Now, talking about under that law, you just mentioned under the law. So let me play this video and you respond to that.
Show me, my Lord, you are conducting their case for them. You are the one running their case for them. Let them show me that the prosecution, show me where it says you can waive my right to family written address. And I'll sit down.
You have the right to appeal after...
No, my Lord, this is a perversion of the cause of justice. This is not law. It is not law.
Can you excuse me?
My Lord, I cannot excuse nullity and illegality.
Can you let him...
It's not possible. It is not possible, my Lord. You must show me where the Constitution says you have the right to waive my written address. You must show me.
Excuse me.
Show me. Show me where it says so. Show me. Show me where it says so.
Excuse him.
Is that why you brought the cameras? Is that why you brought them today?
Please.
You didn't bring it before. You brought it today.
Please.
Show me where it says you can try me on a repeat law. Show me.
Please.
Show me where it says you can try me on a repeat law. I said, show me. Show me.
Excuse me.
Show me.
Get the microphone from him.
No, leave it. Leave it.
This thing
Leave
went
it.
on
I said,
for
leave
some
it.
time.
It's a court of
I may
law.
have to cut it
I'm
so
under
that we
trial.
can continue because I have to
I'm under
play.
trial and I have to speak. I'm under trial and I have to speak. Listen.
Okay, now before I play the next video, remember you heard what Kanu said. Show me. You have said this thing before that this law has been repealed, but it can be one can charge. It can be.
JIBRIN, let's be very clear. What you just played is an act of hooliganism in the court of law. There's nothing appropriating to what he was talking about.
No, but no, hold on.
And
The judge was supposed to know. He has the right to. He was asking for the judge to show him what the judge. I think you said the same thing, that one can be charged under a repeat law. I remember you said something like that. The guy then now the Kanu was asking the judge to show him where it is written in the law that you can be charged under a repeat law.
How can he ask the question at this point? On the first day he was brought to court, charges were read out to him. Charge 1, count 1, count 2, count 3, count 4, count 5, up to count 7. And he pleaded to it. He has the charge. Before they don't even read it, they write it and give you what is called information sheet. All the charges are there. They are given to you from day one.
Listen,
so how can you...
Barrister, honestly, this I disagree. No,
Let's get this clear. He has the written charges served on him before the trial started, and he pleaded to it. How can he, at this end of the case, be asking, show me, what is the charges that were given to him?
But hold on, it doesn't matter. The court has brought camera has opened the court to the public. So it behooves the judge to, what does it take for him, what does it take him to read out the law? That gives him the right to charge somebody under a repeat law.
The court has a procedure. The court has a procedure, and it cannot be bent. It cannot be bent because of.
Let me play this video of another lawyer, one of his legal team.
The court has a procedure, and it cannot be bent because of a particular defendant.
No, but hold on.
The procedure is clear.
This case has become a global case, for God's sake. The entire community, the entire global community, the entire satellite of the global community is on Nigeria. So there are
the rules.
You could have played
of that
fair, at least play to be fair, a sort of to look fair rather, instead of doing what is nonsense.
Because of that, the rules of court should not be followed.
Hold on,
the rules are written down.
Hold on, let me play this.
They will forever live in infamy. Today is the only day I have witnessed a man being convicted for mere buffering, for what he said from his mouth, not what he did with his own hands. The verdict is not consistent with the evidence laid before the court. The sentence is overbroad, cruel, and unusual. How can you convict a man for making mere broadcasts from a location that was never named, and he never tied that broadcast to any single incident of violence, or even someone slapping someone, not to talk of terrorism? He did all this. He didn't lay any evidence. I don't know where this whole verdict can be grounded in law, logic, or facts. We disagree with the judgment vehemently, and we are going to fight it from here onwards until justice is done. Politics is based on some tribal, primordial sentiments. Just because Nnamdi Kanu is Igbo. An Igbo man has become the person in Nigeria that should be trampled upon. I'm not saying this because I'm Igbo. I'll say it for the House of Yoruba who gets trampled upon. But today we saw an Igbo man being trampled upon, and by God Almighty, we are not going to allow it. understand. Nobody is going to trample on me. Nobody is going to trample on Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is not a terrorist. He's a man that was pursuing change. To pursue a separate nation of yours is not a crime. So.
Okay, yeah, I had to cut that out because we have to utilize the time we have. Barrister, you had that. That's one of Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer. In fact, I think the lead lawyer from the beginning. So that you heard what he said. Now, the truth is, I asked you this question before. Did what Nnamdi Kanu, the so-called crime that he committed, is it consistent? Is it consistent with the charges? Again, you categorically said yes. So you mean what Nnamdi Kanu said? All he did, he never committed. They never caught him with a common knife. Not to talk of gun and killing people. Nnamdi Kanu never killed anyone. He never brandished weapon in the public. He may have said all that he said, talked about buying weapons, talked about people going on the street, talked about whatever, and so what? And so what? To me, I categorize that. Look, I categorize that as freedom of speech. This man has done no harm to anybody. Yet the government have brought down a whole lot of punishment that is just that does not commensurate with what he has done.
Let's be very clear and let's leave sentiment out of it.
No, of course. What are you talking about? No, hold on. No. What are you talking about? The sentiment what? The government brought in sentiment into this. Everything that lawyer said, I believe him 100%.
What
because
Nnamdi Kanu
is an Igbo man. Look at what terrorists are doing in the north.
No. Let's not go to that. What Jumofo said there, he was posturing for the public. I have a video of what he said in private too, which I will also mention as we go on. What he said there is for the benefit of the public. He knows very well what went on through the trial. But let me say, if I, as a person, engaging some people to go and kill somebody, and I never went there, I never had the knife, and those people went and killed the person, am I guilty of the murder or not? Now, if I conspire with people to go and commit a crime, and I didn't go there, the people went and did the crime, am I guilty of the crime or not? Again, remember the genocide in Rwanda. It was activated by brokers from radio station in Rwanda, continuous brokers of hate and incitement for the Tutsis to operate against the Tutsis. That's how the genocide happened. So leave the issue of whether he was caught with a weapon or not. Look at what he said. In relation to what happened, they tied it together. His broadcast and when one of his commanders was killed in by the army, Ikonso, he was killed today. The following day, Nnamdi made a broadcast and said they are going to bury him like the king of Benin. That is, he wanted 2,000 heads to be buried. He made a broadcast. It's not; these are not things that I said. It is on tape and on video that he wanted Ikonso to be buried with 2,000 heads. Now, the people that he commissioned, they were also arrested. They said they were only able to get 30 heads to bury Ikonso with. Now, you want to put all this aside as just a broadcast. You want to look at all the broadcasts that happen after the answer, the broadcasts that happen on each occasion. You want to just say they are mere broadcasts.
Barrister.
It did not lead to anything.
Yeah, Barrister.
The issue is whether the evidence tied to the broadcast, whether the broadcast caused anything. Even then, look, I can read you the United States definition of terrorism. If you write, not just in Nigeria, it's not only here. I can read just one of it for you. It is not just the use of force, it's the threatened use of force.
Now, okay.
To threaten to use force.
Now,
for the purpose of intimidating the population,
now,
is terrorism.
Okay, let me ask, that your point has been made and it's clear. Now, my next question is, you have said it earlier before that Nnamdi Kanu's case should be dealt with politically. Do you think, excuse me, Let's even assume, like, okay, what the judge did is they followed the law, which I do not believe. I believe everything about this whole thing has to do with bias. That's just the truth. Both religious and tribal bias, ethnic bias. There's no doubt about it, about it, honestly. Now, my question is, don't you think that the government meting such punishment at Nnamdi Kanu is unjustifiable based on the antecedents of government dealing with other terrorists, real terrorists? Because you are calling someone terrorist. We have people committing terrorism, acts of terrorism all over the north, brandishing weapons all over, showing themselves. They have faces, government officials meeting with them faces. I have so many videos of such. Yet these people are being celebrated all over the north, while we have someone who barely used a megaphone to do whatever he did. Initially, honestly, all that thing he done, I was against it. But honestly, as it is right now, and I bet you, Nnamdi Kanu was not as popular then as he is now. Because so many people, he has gained so many people's sympathy. So, especially people like me, I never liked Nnamdi Kanu. But now, based on the way government has treated him and based on his stand, how he has been very brave and courageous to face the government, to dare them, to spit in their face. Because naturally I like brave people. That have actually endeared me to him. It has attracted me to him, and it has attracted so many people to him as well. People who never knew Nnamdi Kanu before have known globally. The U.S. National Assembly, I'll play the video for you or whatever. They are now asking him to be released. For God's sake, what are we doing, for God's sake? Why are we justifying something that is unjustifiable? This man, remember, this man started from a good beginning, a positive beginning. We played this video here when he started on a very, very civilized and decent, responsible manner by protesting in a legal way. In a legal way, and was advising the government, pleading with the government, asking the government to do the needful, the right thing. He was basically preaching to the government. He was basically, technically, a man of God then, preaching peace, the message of peace. And the government did not listen. Instead of that, the government tried to muzzle his speech. They tried to squeeze him. They tried to shut him down. So this whole thing, Nnamdi Kanu was not a violent person from the beginning. We all know where he started from. We all have read watched and read about him. He didn't just start from the blues. This phrase that Nigeria always use, Nigeria has happened to him. This is what is happening in the life of Nnamdi Kanu today. Nigeria has happened to Nnamdi Kanu, just as Nigeria is happening to so many of us, for God's sake. And people are justifying this nonsense.
But it's happening. I'm one of those who have been very critical. On your show, we have been as critical as somebody can. We have used as strong language. But don't forget, for instance, now what you said that he has gained. Look, if you have monitored the social media in Nigeria after the judgment, within the Southeast, the people that are speaking out now against Kanu are more than those who are speaking in his favor. You don't go to social media within the Igbos, people who are calling for their dead relatives, for justice for their dead relations, are far more than the ones who are speaking in support of Kanu, if you go to the social media now. But apart from that, we should come to my argument or my dispute with you will simply be, I'm not against Biafra. I will never be. I am not against Nnamdi Kanu agitating for Biafra. But in that agitation, are you obliged, or is it your right to force people who disagree with you to follow you? Is it your right to threaten people?
No, honestly, no. And look,
I want us to.
Event has taken over that. We are not talking about that anymore. We are talking about political solution. No, don't go there. Because, hold on. And what are you talking about? The people in the north that have been committing mass murder, genocide here and there, and their own is that they are not even doing it. Nnamdi Kanu has never look. All he has done was use his voice, his megaphone. But what we are seeing in the north is the leaders they brandish weapon all over their body publicly on video. They don't even hide anymore. Go to all over the world where terrorism is taking place. You see the leaders of terror. You barely see them on video. You barely see them speaking. Whatever they do it in the hiding. They do it, but in Nigeria, the terrorists, only in Nigeria you find terrorists. Terrorists not hiding. They come out, they attend weddings, they attend ceremonies. They don't even go, they don't hide. They actually meet with government officials. They actually meet with security officials. So only in Nigeria you find this kind of impunity. Yet you are holding someone, you want to kill someone, you are incarcerating someone for life, for basically your life imprisonment is as good as killing that person. As far as I'm concerned, it's as good as death sentence. The difference is a thin line. There's just a thin line between them. So because he used a megaphone that he did something out of the frustration that the government of Nigeria has perpetrated on every Nigerian, for God's sake. Look, I say again, I refer you to where he started from. He started with a very peaceful, responsible, and civilized way. What did the government do? The government tried to muzzle him. You cannot flog a child and expect the child not to cry. That is exactly what they are doing right now. For God's sake, we have foreigners coming into Nigeria, invading Nigeria, and wiping people, an entire community off, and taking over the entire community, including ripping pregnant women open. For God's sake, yet these same people are being celebrated. Oh my God. There's just no how, Barrister. There is no how you can tell me that everything about Nnamdi Kanu's case, it really reeks. Everything about his case reeks of not just corruption, but bias, both religious and ethnic bias. There's no doubt about that. You want to tell me if it were a Hausa man or a Hausa Fulani man or a Muslim did this, that such thing will happen to him? Hell no. There's just no way how you can convince me in doing that. Forget about this crazy law. How many laws have we added? The government keeps flouting the law. Look, what we have in Nigeria is a two-justice system. The justice for the connected and the justice for the unconnected. That's exactly what is playing out. The connected, we have the connected, including people in government who are sponsoring this terrorism. They are in government. Some of them are ministers. Some of them were ex-governors. Some of them are in the kitchen cabinet of the president. Some of them, including the vice president's name, has been mentioned. Shettima rather, has been mentioned on this list. Yet, nothing is done to them. They are still perpetrating all these acts. Nothing is done to nobody, not even prosecuting any of them. Now you are prosecuting someone because he's a different tribe or a different religion. This is nonsense. This is absolute nonsense.
Situation. On your show, repeatedly, I have been in the forefront of criticism of what is happening in the North because my state is also affected. In fact, one of the states that is most severely affected, more than any other place. We have talked about this repeatedly. Not me and not anybody from my place can justify what is happening in the North. Of course, we have agreed that the terrorists have overrun the state and that the state is not doing enough. Not that they are not doing something, but they are not doing enough. Remember, a lot of terrorists have been killed. I'm not justifying that the major ones have not been taken. A lot of them have been killed. A lot of them are under detention. Some of them have been tried. It is not a correct statement. Wait.
It's not consistent. It's not consistent with what is supposed to be done. It doesn't even come close.
Allow me to say something. We are exchanging ideas. It is not a correct to say that nothing is being done. It is correct to say that what is being done. What is being done?
What is being done? It is not consistent.
It's not sufficient, and we want them to go out.
Barrister,
In that
nothing
trial,
you can.
I'm
No, hold
coming.
on, hold on. You are not. No, hold on, Barrister. No, never. You look. This thing. Look, I am pissed over this nonsense. Over this nonsense, and I'm even surprised you are taking this. I'm really surprised you are taking this too.
You just want me to agree with you.
No, it is not it. I expect a common sense, a fair thought, not this kind of it is irrational. Why? How can you rationalize this thing? How can you give a death sentence? Sorry, a life sentence to somebody that just used his megaphone? There is no physical evidence that this man actually killed these people. Let's even assume there is physical evidence, for God's sake. In comparison to what is happening in the north, for God's sake, why can't we have a fair justice system? A justice system that is balanced.
That is where you conflate what is happening in the north with the trial. That is where you miss the point. We were analyzing a trial. When you now compare that other people are doing worse and they have not been charged, that's a different issue. But within that trial, is the law followed? Is the procedure followed? I'm coming now. Is the law followed? Is the procedure followed?
Barrister,
should there be a political intervention?
Good, that's my point. At this juncture, there should be a political solution.
I have said repeatedly that there should be a political solution to this. But is there a ground for political intervention? And I told you before that I'm aware that repeatedly offers have been made to Kanu for his release. The question is, if there is going to be political solution, what should it take? What level or what measure should it take?
Hold on.
Are you now going to say is the government? You have pushed the government to a certain level. Are you now going to say, okay, go and continue as before?
No, hold on, Barrister.
You are going to extract concession.
Hold on. Why will you give somebody such political such condition? For God's sake, when you have terrorists, we have this Miyeti Allah, this Sheikh Gumi, all these people have come out and done even worse than Kanu. They have used these are public figures, for God's sake. Let's even take the real core terrorists that are perpetrating these acts. Let's just put them aside. Some political figures have done worse than what Kanu did in using megaphone. Sheikh Gumi, that is a prominent Islamic cleric, and the Miyeti Allah, that is the head of this crazy Fulani headsmen. What we have had, what they say in the public, they do all these things all the time. No, have any arrests been made? Have they even ever gotten close to arresting such people? No. But look at the political solution you are suggesting. It is even me. I will never, if I were to Kanu, I will never buy that condition. Condition to keep my mouth shut. Condition to do anything or whatever. I will not do that.
His mouth shut. That's not the condition. The government is saying go and agitate for Biafra in a peaceful way.
At this point, for what peaceful way? Nigeria does not want peace. What peaceful way? What peaceful way? For God's sake, you think Nigeria we give Biafra away or look, the Igbo for a thing, whatever. What did the Yoruba man advocating for the Oduduwa, whatever? When he did what he did, didn't they release him? Is it not basically the same thing?
What happened to Igbo? Is it not the DSS that attacked his house and killed a lot of people?
Yeah, but is he not free now?
He only managed. If he had not escaped, would he not have been
killed? If Kanu had not escaped, was he not a target to be killed? He was a target. The military was at his house. They almost killed him. He got a hint and escaped and went past through the border. So what are we talking about? The Igbo you just mentioned, whatever, he has been released. He's been free long ago, even during Buhari's regime. He's been free. So why will Nnamdi Kanu, why is he being treated differently from others? Of course, because he's an Igbo man. Because other tribes, all they do is to envy and be envious and be very hateful and be bitter against the Igbos for unjustifiable reason. It is so sad. For God's sake, why would you ask someone not to agitate? Yes, he agitated in a very peaceful way, And now you want to ask him to stop the whatever. Don't agitate for violence or whatever. If you don't want him to agitate for violence, then tame other people from the north. Tame them. They are the ones. They have imported foreigners, and they want to overrun Nigeria and take over Nigeria. And these are people. Some of these things they say it publicly, including the political figures. Some of the political figures we know who have arrested them. Did anybody give them? Have they been arrested? Did anybody give them any warning to stop that nonsense? Nobody said. Nobody stopped it. So what is good for the Uganda should be good, should also be applied to others. So don't tell me that.
So what you are saying is that both of them are committing crimes, but one section has not been taken. So that is your complaint.
Yeah, justice should be equal. You treat everybody equally. Because the truth is that, let me be frank with you, if other Northerners who have done this thing in the past or are still doing it today, if they have been brought to justice, if they have been treated the same way they are treating Nnamdi Kanu, I bet you, someone like me, honestly, I would never, like I said, I never liked Nnamdi Kanu right from time. While I supported the Biafra secession, but I never supported the messenger. I have never, I hated Kanu before now. I started getting attracted to him since this case, not even this case, for just the past 2 years, because I realized that government is just actually not being fair, and that is just it.
Do you remember that Muhammad Yusuf, that started Boko Haram, was killed in custody, deliberately killed in custody? I'm coming. His father-in-law, who was a commissioner in Borno State, was also arrested and killed. These are the people who started Boko Haram.
You know why?
They were killed.
You know why they were killed?
Deliberately.
Good.
Whether for any reason they were taken out.
Yes.
So let's start from there. On top of that, am I not the first person to continually complain that security agencies are not doing enough in fact, I've been sabotaged, that there are people who in government and in military cycles who are supporting the terrorists in the north. I have been saying that repeatedly. But it will not be a defense to say that, okay, this person has killed and this person has killed and this person has not been arrested, so this one should not be arrested.
That offense, life imprisonment, let's even go back to the law again, come back to the law. That imprisonment, life imprisonment, it is not fair for someone who has committed the crime that Nnamdi Kanu committed. It is very, very unfair. Life imprisonment,
even if it is not fair, for now is the law. We can agitate that the law should be amended to reduce the sentence.
I don't understand. The law says the law prescribes life imprisonment for the charges. Life.
Some of them are death penalty that the judge did not even impose. Some of the charges, conviction, some of the charges he was convicted for. Honestly, the judge was under a duty to give him death penalty.
Those charges, those charges are nonsense.
He put the life sentence in the charges that carry the death penalty.
I don't agree with those charges, honestly. What the guy did does not commensurate with that. It is not. It doesn't equal it doesn't equal the punishment. I disagree with that completely.
Well, there are times on the show, I think we discussed the issue of rape one time, and when we said that some states were trying to give death penalty, and we said the punishment was too much. If you can recall some of your programs that we discussed, we agreed then that in our opinion, the punishment was too heavy for the offenses that they ascribed that to. But that is the law. I am going to send you the judgment. Read it, and we can talk about it later. When you have gone through the evidence. For one DSS official was asked under cross-examination by Kanu's lawyers why they have not arrested some of these northern terrorists leaders. For example, why they did not arrest Shakau, who was the leader of Boko Haram after Muhammad Yusuf. And he said that they had tracked him to a point where they were about to arrest him, only to discover that his whole body was wired with explosives. And if they were to arrest him, they will also be dead. It's in the evidence.
Why didn't they kill him? Shoot him, for God's sake. Why didn't you shoot him? For God's sake, if you look, if it had arrived, look, let me tell you one thing. If it were in the Western world, such person, there are two options. If you cannot arrest him, shoot him. And that, what did they do? Is that not how they killed Osama bin Laden?
It was that if you shoot him and the explosive also, they were in such close proximity that the explosive will also take you out.
Hold on, that was nonsensical. Barrister, you mean the security agent actually actually saw him? They were there, so you mean they left because this man was wired with a bomb? Is that what you mean?
That's the evidence. That is the evidence.
That was a dumb. That evidence that man gave. That was
cross-examined and why check out, and that is what he said.
Anyway, let's move to the next topic, Barrister.
We have not like this one now. You heard the lawyer. You made the statement. You played the video of Aloy.
Yes.
I told you before. In my opinion, they are the people who somehow misled Kanu. When Kanu took his own defense, there's a video that Aloy said that they met before and came to the conclusion that the judgment was inevitable and that it should not be seen that they, the lawyers, are the ones shepherding their claim to be sentenced. So it's better for him to stand alone. It will be more sympathetic. There's a video, that is a lawyer. They met and they said they sold the idea to Kanu that they know how the trial is going. So it will not look good that his lawyers, are shepherding him to be sentenced. So let them withdraw and let him take it alone to achieve sympathy. I have the video.
All right.
Like I was saying.
Anyway.
Now, no, I am still coming to the point that when they made that statement, when Kanu took over his defense, we all know that he is putting himself as a freedom fighter. We have something to fall back on, the Mandela movement. Mandela was faced with the same situation that Kanu has faced in a South African court by the white court and judges. And when he had the opportunity, he stood up in the court. And that statement that he made in the court has been quoted again for the past 50 years. It has been quoted. That is the statement that he explained to the whole world in the court, that he has fought against white domination. He has fought against black domination. That statement became a historical statement. I expected Kanu, when he took over the defense, to lay out, instead of attacking the judge, attacking everybody, insulting everybody, to lay out his fight for Biafra.
Honestly, I do not blame him for attack. Look, if I were in his shoes, probably I may not do it the same way because both of us have different temperaments and different tolerance. But honestly, I do not see anything. That man was just doing things based on frustration. He's frustrated with the system, frustration with the process, frustration with the government, frustrated because he feels bias. Anybody that feels biased, let me be frank with you, the moment someone feels biased, the next thing is frustration. If anybody that is powerless, the moment you feel biased and you are powerless, what do you expect? People get people exhibit frustration in different manner. So this is one way of expressing his frustration. It's bias, for God's sake.
When you talk about bias, the alleged bias against Justice Nyako, that was why the case was tried to transfer to Justice Motoso. And he himself has said that no Nigerian judge has right to try him. So it is like saying that nobody should try him. Because by his own decision, anywhere you go, it is the same thing.
Barrister, the truth is,
yes, honestly, that no Nigerian court has right to try him.
There is nothing anyone would tell me that will actually convince me that what this punishment they have meted on Nnamdi Kanu is commensurate or it's consistent with what is happening in Nigeria. For God's sake, it is the government, trust me, government only applies the law when it favors their selfish and evil intentions. Just like what they are doing with Nnamdi Kanu now. And look, anyway, let's move to the next topic because there are other things I need to talk about this issue. All right. Nnamdi Kanu has been moved to Sokoto prison. Of course. What do you expect? The government they are cowards. They feel if they take him to Kuje prison or whatever, the prison around the south, whatever, according to what we read, that they don't want to make him a king, because obviously somebody like Nnamdi Kanu, if you go take him to any prison other than the north, he will be made a king in that prison. He will live like a king. There's no doubt about that. So they are trying to avoid that. They don't want to. They just want to punish this guy. They want to not only punish him. They just want him isolated from people completely. A sort of probably they want him. What they are trying to achieve is to get him beaten psychologically, to humble him psychologically. But my God, I do not see someone like Kanu. Like I said, his courage and his tenacity, his fight, the way he's so courageous is what has attracted. Initially, I never liked him. Like I said, I got attracted to him a year or two ago. A sort of when I started, I saw the way he didn't care, because I naturally get attracted to people who don't feel intimidated at the authority. So that is just the reality. So let me play this clip. I will come back to discuss the issue.
Okay. Good day, everybody. All lovers of freedom. My name is Nnamdi Jofo. I am one of the lawyers to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I'm here with my colleagues, Maxwell Opara, PhD, and Ijoma Ifedinobi, Esquire. We just came out from visiting the State Security Service department of the FCT, and we have been informed by the Director of Operations that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is no longer in their custody. He has been moved to a safe correctional facility in Sokoto State. So right now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now in Sokoto State, and our challenge anyway in this is that most of the documents he's supposed to file in Abuja Court of Appeal, he may not be able to file it anymore, because he needed to file processes at the Court of Appeal to challenge the judgment that was delivered yesterday by the Federal High Court Judge, Honorable Justice James Omotosho. And moving him to Sokoto is now going to act as an impediment to his filing those appeal processes. But in any case, we are guaranteed and assured that where he is in Sokoto is safe for him at the moment. And we are hoping.
All right, Barrister, what do you think about this movement to Sokoto State?
Well, the judge had ordered.
Sorry?
The judge, in the judgment,
Yes.
the judge had ordered that he should be kept in protective custody in any custodial center in Nigeria. Kept in protective custody. I'm just reading from the judgment. Kept in protective custody in any custodial center in Nigeria, that the convict must not be allowed near any digital device, and if he must be closely monitored by the Office of the National Security Advisor. That is part of the judgment. So the leeway was given to the correctional center to determine where best the protective custody should be. Of course, when they moved him to Sokoto, one can understand that they believe that it is safer there, and it's going to be more difficult.
Safer for Nnamdi Kanu.
The lawyer there is telling you that
you and I. No, hold on.
The Kuje prison where he has been. Remember, it was attacked, I think last year or the year before. Kuje prison was attacked and some inmates were set free.
Yes.
Apart from that, it's a known heaven for anything that goes. You can be a king there and you direct anything from. I don't want to go into the politics of where he is kept. It is a prerogative
So
of the correction
you think
center.
Barrister, you think that he's safer in Sokoto than Kuje prison? Nnamdi Kanu is safer in Sokoto than Kuje prison?
When he is taken there, I think they are going to mobilize the DSS and other districts to provide adequate security for him there. I don't think he's been moved there to compromise his physical
Oh my
health
God!
or safety.
Honestly,
I don't think so.
My opinion, honestly, I think he is moved to Sokoto prison. They want to torture him mentally. What they want to do is they are trying to break Nnamdi Kanu. That is what government wants to do. They want to break him in a way to get him to a point where he will be so humbled to be ready to adhere to any condition given to him. Because honestly, left to the government would have just killed him, give him death sentence, or even killed him in prison. I would have thought that okay, Sokoto prison is actually for them to kill him, use inmates to kill him there. But government will not want to play that would take that risk right now because this Nnamdi Kanu's matter has become a global issue. So they don't Tinubu's government, the image of Tinubu's government is so dirty right now that they don't want to add more debt to his image, his bad image globally. So they will not want to kill him. Otherwise, that would have been their first option. I bet you that is their first. That would have been their first option to just eliminate that because they hate these establishment politicians. They do not only hate Nnamdi Kanu, they just hate his gods. They hate the god of an Igbo man. That such God is coming from an Igbo man. That is what they hate. They would have preferred to just kill him. But again, the international community are definitely on their back, on their neck on this. So they wouldn't do that. But the second option they have is to break. They are trying to break Nnamdi Kanu. That's why they sent him to Sokoto because, of course, obviously, Sokoto prison, the people over there will be so hostile to him because most of the prisoners there are Muslims and probably not from northern extraction.
Let's not bank on that. When Nnamdi Kanu was in Kuje prison, his roommates were all Muslims, and they went along very well. If you see, there's a video where he introduced them. They were in the same cell. They're all Muslims. They were in the same cell and they got along well. They are part of the people who, when they were released, they came out and are campaigning.
Do you know why? Do you know why? No, now hold on. If you go to Sokoto prison will have people completely, not literally complete, but almost completely different from the Kuje prison people. The Sokoto prisoners, what they will do is they will have people there. You know, an average Hausa or Hausa Fulani man, they are so myopic, they are easily brainwashed, they are easily indoctrinated. Just tell them something that this person is the devil. They will believe you hook, line, and sinker. And as a result of that, that is what they will try to apply in Sokoto prison, probably to indoctrinate some kind of prisoners there, to make them think that Kanu is their enemy. And trust me, that's exactly what will happen. So they will not kill him because it will be a bad image to the government. So, but they will want to punish Nnamdi Kanu to the extent that it will affect him mentally and get broken. That's exactly what they intend to do.
I remember when Obasanjo was convicted for the coup and sentenced to death, he was sent to Gashua prison.
Yes.
That hardly has even a very strong.
It was deliberate.
Strong words. It's or more or less a mod sort of prison. That's why he was sent. But there are categories of prisoners, like the convicted prisoners. They don't stay in the same place with the awaiting prisoners. They have separate accommodation. And in every prison, let me tell you, it depends on the caliber of the person. Nnamdi Kanu will virtually have a room of his own, and he will have special treatment because anything that happens to him is going to reverberate. So whichever prison he is sent to, I can be relatively satisfied that he will be much better than other people because of his stature.
All right. Now, honestly, my thought about
The
this
second issue, the second issue that the tape that the video you played, they were talking about being impeded
correct. I was coming to
in
that. Thank you for reminding me.
trying to appeal. There's no impediment. If you see the other video, the lawyer has said that the process is almost ready, and by next week they are going to file the appeal. You don't need even to discuss with. There's nothing to discuss with Kanu when you are filing a notice of appeal. It's based on the judgment.
Documents.
As a lawyer, you are the one going to determine the grounds of appeal and everything. It's a legal issue and legal formulation. So you don't need any document. You are not using any document. They don't use any document in the notice of appeal. You just draft a notice of appeal, put the grounds of which you believe the judgment is wrong. That's all. And you file. It's after that the records will be compiled here in Abuja and sent to the Court of Appeal.
You see, this Nnamdi Kanu's case is that honestly, I just think that that the government has overplayed their hands. They are going to make Nnamdi Kanu even more popular politically globally than what he was.
Look, when we talk, some of the things that Nnamdi Kanu was shouting in the court, for God's sake, if we talk as lawyers, even the lawyer Ejumofo and his lawyers, they know. When you say show me the law, you are saying you are tried under a repeat law. That is not a correct statement. At the time, any offense is charged with reference to the law that was enforced at the time the offense was committed. That's it. If you charge Kanu today, under the 2022 Terrorism Act, for offenses that were committed in 2015, it cannot be a charge because at that time the law, the 2022 law, was not in existence. It was not in existence. And this argument that he made have been answered by the Supreme Court, have been answered by this very high court in the no case submission. All these things he's saying, the court has already ruled on them. Once a court rules,
you see,
you cannot come back and introduce those issues to the court again. You can only go on appeal. The court has ruled on, during the preliminary objection, the Supreme Court has ruled on it. So it was not something that will say, show me the law. The court has ruled. You
see, this Nnamdi Kanu's cases, I don't know, he has more enemy in the East than people that are supposed to be, especially in the political, with the political bloc. Someone like Bianca, I don't expect someone like Bianca to be I read her reaction to this imprisonment. That's nonsense. This man is supposed to be your late husband's successor, de facto successor, informal successor. For God's sake, because he took over. Ojukwu was the one who initiated this fight for Biafra. And this same Biafra is what Nnamdi Kanu, that name alone, that optics alone, I expected the woman to be sentimental about it. I expected the woman to be emotional about it, especially Biafra. Anytime we talk about Biafra today, that name Biafra is synonymous to Ojukwu. Ojukwu and Biafra, they are inseparable. He is Biafra and Ojukwu, and Biafra is Ojukwu. That's just it. And that was her husband. I expected her to apply emotions here and sentiments here because of her own husband. But what do we have? You are serving a government that is really muzzling your people. A government that is just squeezing that idea of Biafra. The purpose of Biafra is being defeated by every successive government. They have been truncating that idea. And now you are serving the same government that is actually muzzling, that trying to actually kill that idea that your husband almost died over. So honestly, I don't, this issue of treachery, this issue of betrayal from no matter what, is it that one thing I so much love about the North? We all were born and bred in the North. So technically, I am like a Northerner because I lived virtually all my life in the North. So I understand the Northerner more than I understand the Southerner. The truth is, I love the North for this quality that they have. It's just like what is happening in the US. The Democrats are always united in crime, united in evil. No matter how bad a Democrat is, no matter how the crime the Democrat has committed, the Democrats will rally around that person, protect that person. The same thing happens in the North, in Nigeria. The Northerners, especially Hausa Fulani, no matter what their person has done, no matter the evil their person has committed, the power bloc will always rally around that person. But the Easterners, what do we have? Yorubas does the same thing. They always protect their own. Nobody, when it comes to tribalism, Yorubas are so tribalistic. But when Igbo man, look at what is happening. You just said it that people are just they are against people. You had so many disgruntled Igbo people against him or whatever, voicing the whatever. Even though social media, I understand that, but the problem is, I'm not even talking about the common man that on the street. I'm talking about the power block. The power block in the East are completely against him for selfish political reasons. That is just the reality. They are just against him because they know. You see, the powers that be, they don't like anyone. Igbo people, and that has been my problem. That has been the problem of the Igbo man. And that is why I just believe that Igbo man will never be the president of Nigeria, because they have these evil traits in them, where they seem not to love themselves. They seem not to want to support themselves politically. They seem not to want anyway. The moment you start to shine, envy comes in. They want to hit you down. You don't get support. Just like what happened with Obi. You can imagine Peter Obi was so popular then in 2023, but Soludo, his own kinsman, fought him to a standstill. Peter Obi, his own kinsman was his worst critic, the greatest critic prior to 2023. That is the life of an Igbo man. And that's exactly what is happening to Nnamdi Kanu. But the problem is with them is that, honestly, like I said earlier, this government they are overplaying their hands. Nnamdi Kanu will become he's already getting popular. He wasn't this popular. Like person like me, he has attracted me. I'm attracted. He has won me over. Now, won me over not by what he did in the past. He has won me over by what he is doing right now. How courageous. Because I like people who are so courageous to stand up to bullies, to stand up to oppressors. That's exactly the moment I see such traits in you. It naturally, no matter what you have done in the past, I will spontaneously be attracted to you. And that's exactly what is happening now. And I bet you there are so many people, not even bet you are a current affairs person, you are a news person, you know it. Forget about whatever coming from the East. I understand some of them are based on some people died and they made life miserable in the East. And let me be frank with you, Nnamdi Kanu is not responsible for what is happening in the East. That is just the reality. I don't want, because I read a documentary, I read a report about what is happening, the real insecurity happening, the purpose, how it started or whatever. And that's a different topic we'll discuss another day. That Nnamdi Kanu is not the reason, whatever. So if the people hijacked it, politicians hijacked it. People hijacked the process, hijacked the whole thing. And that is what is happening here. And that is the narrative that so many people on the street, the common man, those people that are supporting, excuse me, those people you say that on social media are really supporting government on what they are doing, the punishment they meted on Nnamdi Kanu. That is the narrative they received, they had from, of course, because the media is so powerful. The narrative they are projecting, the power, excuse me, the power block in the East are projecting is that Nnamdi Kanu is the reason why the East is facing the violence that is facing today. It's just like the Boko Haram that started in the North by Yusuf. Yusuf started it on a he wanted it in a different way. What Yusuf, the founder of Boko Haram, the intention was not what it is today. So it was hijacked. Boko Haram stuff. The idea was the ideology was hijacked from Yusuf. The same thing happened with this issue of Biafra agitation. So honestly, like I said earlier, honestly, you will see that Nnamdi Kanu will come out even more popular. Nnamdi Kanu will become a very, very strong either a kingmaker or someone who, unfortunately, I don't see an Igbo man president. That's the unfortunate part. Otherwise, I would have seen someone like Nnamdi Kanu coming out to actually be a leader in Nigeria from the eastern, because he will gain so much popularity global. Even right now, we are going to talk about it. He's already gaining popularity globally. Because let me tell you one thing. One thing, the moment, that is one thing the government don't understand. I expect them to understand it, to be sensible. Sometimes, for you not to give popularity, for you not to give credence, or not to give credibility to someone you don't like, ignore the person. Just ignore the person. But no, they chose to rather do it's just like what happened during Donald Trump. The moment you focus on someone, the person becomes popular. So no matter the crime that man has committed, no matter the crime that person has committed in the past, the moment the society begins to see that the government, this person is being oppressed, being victimized, the moment naturally, the public, the society will always take the side of David against Goliath. That is exactly what will happen, and that is exactly what will play. It's already playing out because, trust me, I've watched the news, I've listened to analysts or whatever. So many people who, like me, who never supported, who never liked Nnamdi Kanu, are coming around to actually say, this is persecution. This is not fair. People are talking in his favor right now.
You also need to listen to his close associates. Remember, IPOB was not started by Kanu alone. There were four of them that started IPOB. None of them is with him today. You need to listen to them, why they separated from him, why they are no longer with him. You can't just dismiss everything and say, oh, it is being put by the media out there. Listen to them, how they started, and how they...
You and I agree on one thing. You and I agree on one thing. Hold on. You and I, Barrister, you and I agree on one thing. And that one thing is, like I said earlier, just like you, I never liked Nnamdi Kanu. I never follow. I just always, anytime I watched him by chance, not by design, by chance those days, I just flipped out. I said, this man, this is madness. What kind of person is this? How does this man expect what he is fighting for to actually come to limelight with the way he's going about it?
So, that is my focus. That is my focus. That is exactly, I have nothing against him. I want him to be released, but are you ready for him to be released to go back to what you say you don't like?
No, now hold on. That is a different discussion for another day. I want him to release. Look, the truth is, whether you release him or not, it doesn't stop the ideology. This is an ideology. When someone, it's just like killing a terrorist, and someone will succeed him.
The ideology is there, but as long as it is carried out in the way that he was carrying it out, it's going to have problem. Even within the Southeast, it will have issue. Not to talk of outside, it will have issue.
You know the funniest thing,
because when you appropriate other states into your Biafra without their consent, when you say things, when you look down on other people, when you insult other people, when you do this thing, you cannot expect sympathy or support from those people. And I have said repeatedly that the way he was going about it was wrong. And in future, that is not the way he should go about Biafra. That has been my own. Most of us, if Biafra is given, we will support it fully. But we don't want to be.
But my problem, that's a different topic, because I want to come to that. Biafra can never be given the legal way, because the constitution does. I'll come to that, because I want to ask you as a lawyer about that. We'll come to that because a lawyer talked about it. I read someone did a video about it and said, why did Biafra can never, because the constitution does not even support it will never accept that. So we'll come to that.
No, the constitution does not expressly say it, but the constitution also supports self-determination. It is not correct to say the constitution does not support Biafra. Simplicity. There is self-determination, and by international law,
the constitution is aggressively against secession in any form.
Yes, that is to say that is to say, what the Constitution says that nobody should take over the federal government of Nigeria or any part of it by force or other than as prescribed in the Constitution. But by law and by international convention, everybody has the right to self-determination. Everybody. They have right to self-determination. So it comes down to whether the
Igbos let's not go into that because that's going to be an extensive whatever. Because the truth is,
let's leave that
even because some lawyers will argue international law that the international law that the national law should not be subjective to the international law. That is the point. So you just can't take it. Some lawyers will argue that. So even if international law permits that, what does the local law say? Local law will say even we have that same conflict in the US. International law says this, but local law says the local law says that. They go with the local law.
Under the Constitution, Biafra can be achieved peacefully. That's what I'm saying. Not by violence or by force. Not by taking the part of Nigeria by force.
No, but you and I know that. You and I know. Look, I'm not advocating for violence. That is for people who know I'm not a violent person naturally. I've never even touched a gun in my entire life. But the truth is, you and I know that nothing in Nigeria, you cannot get anything good in a very peaceful way. You can't get that. You can't get that. And that is why this issue of you want to muzzle someone, whatever. Look, the truth is, I just expect them to release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. Let the government let the government do the needful, what he's fighting for. If we are fighting, if the Biafrans are fighting because of bias, government should change. There should be equity. Apply equity. That is the problem. If you apply equity, people like us will come around. That is to apply equity. Treat the Easterners as Nigerians as well as equal Nigerians with other parts of the country. So don't apply someone. Don't apply condition to muzzle someone out of his fundamental human right. As far as I'm concerned, he has the right to advocate whatever. That is just it. So don't tell me that